gained unmatched football strength, surpassing Messi and Ronaldo. Episode 31. When Lin Rui came to the Real Madrid Sports City Stadium, a stadium that he was very familiar with, he still had some emotion in his heart. It was here that he was swept away by the Real Madrid B team. Now he's back here as a challenger. Will it be possible to succeed in revenge? Lin Rui was now extremely eager to fight. After an acclimatization warm-up on the pitch, all the players returned to the away dressing room. In the humble away dressing room, Marcelo stood in front of all the players and said in a deep voice, "Today's game, I don't need to stress too much, you all know how significant it is. We Atletico can lose to any opponent, but we just can't lose to Real Madrid. I want you to keep this in mind. Moji, how long have you been on the team?" Marcelo suddenly looked at the captain of the team, Moji. "It's been 5 years, sir." Moji answered truthfully, "It's been 5 years, so tell me, how are the results of our match against Real Madrid?" "Oh. In the past 5 years, we have played Real Madrid 13 times, winning 3, drawing 3, and losing 7. Moji's voice was a little muffled. "Well, 3 wins, 3 draws, 7 defeats, this result is a bit bad, it can be said to be bad. But I hope that after today, we can change the result to 4 wins, 3 draws and 7 defeats, instead of 3 wins, 3 draws and 8 defeats. I want to ask you, do you have faith?" Marcelo's voice suddenly became high-pitched. "Yes," the players shouted. "Good, I remembered, I hope you will do what you say," Marcelo said. His eyes swept through the crowd again, and finally fixed on Lin Rui's body. "Lin, I know you're coming from Real Madrid, and now you're back here, tell me, do you want to win them?" "Yes, I want to win, and I think we can win. I can guarantee that." Lin Rui's voice carried an extremely strong confidence. "Very good. You also remember what you said. After today's game, you can prove to everyone whether Real Madrid has no vision or you are a parallel traitor. I hope you can prove that Real Madrid have no vision, so that you can laugh at the old guy Torres." Marcelo's words immediately drew laughter from the players. Lin Rui also secretly admired the old man Marcelo, and this guy mobilized everyone's emotions in just a few words. If he is really just a teenager, it is estimated that he must have been provoked by the fighting spirit at this time. Of course, although he is not affected by other people's words, his will to fight is not comparable to those young players who are easily provoked by other people's words. Seeing that the emotions of the players were mobilized, Marcelo nodded with satisfaction, and then waved his hand and walked out of the dressing room first. The players followed behind Marcelo and entered the pitch through the tunnel. At this time, the stands were already full. Madrid is a metropolis, and the ball market has always been hot. In such a second division league, nearly tens of thousands of fans also came to the stadium. Most of them are Real Madrid fans wearing white shirts, and only a small number are Atletico fans who come with the visiting team. But in this small group of Atletico fans, there is a small phalanx, about 20 or 30 fans. They were all wearing jerseys with Lin Rui's number and name printed on them, and banners with Chinese read, "Lin Rui, come on." Among the banners and flags in English, it is very conspicuous. At the front of these fans are the excited Aunt Krya and the bearded Ray. These fans are all members of their fan organization, Striker Elite. Since the last match, these fans have become Lin Rui's fans. "This time I came to see the game, and I also came to cheer for Lin Rui. Although the number of these fans is small, they are very organized." They shouted Lin Rui's name in unison, to cheer him on. The shouts of dozens of people passed through the stands, so that Lin Rui, who was walking on the field, could clearly hear it. Lin Rui was slightly stunned, and then immediately waved his hand in the direction where the voice came from. This made his fans immediately excited, and cheered loudly and hard. However, after all, this is the home stadium of Real Madrid, and seeing Atletico Madrid fans so high profile, Real Madrid fans are immediately upset. They booed louder and immediately silenced the cheers of the Atletico fans. This scene was faithfully recorded by the cameraman. At this time, in the live broadcast room of Sports Weekly, netizens who saw this scene instantly became lively. "Hey! I saw that the fan phalanx was holding a banner with a slogan printed with Chinese characters, and it was still foreigners who held the banner. What is that written? Well, Lin Rui, come on. I grass. Is Lin Rui so awesome? Now there are foreigner fans. Upstairs, look at your fuss, people. Lin Rui kicked football well. How many fans are there? Isn't this a normal thing? I grass. Why don't I like to hear you when you talk? Do you think it's easy to have fan support abroad? If it's such a simple thing, why don't you see other Chinese players have such support? That is, it is not easy to make foreigners admire a player. After all, people's families are football powerhouses, and there are a lot of stars in the family. Lin Rui can win the love of the fans there. Absolutely awesome." Looking at the comments of netizens on the screen, the 3 hosts couldn't help nodding. Lu Jian said with a smile, "What netizens said is indeed very reasonable. It is indeed not easy to win the love of fans in a foreign country, especially in such a football powerhouse. Now Lin Rui can do this step, it is really not easy. Yes, we don't know how long it has been since such a player has appeared, it's really embarrassing to think about." Zhang Lu also said with emotion, "Wow. Lin Rui looks so tall and handsome. I feel like I'm going to be fanned by him. Xu Fan turned into a fangirl, which immediately caused the other two old men to laugh. After laughing, Lu Jian said positively, "Okay, the game is about to start, let's return to the scene." Hey! Lin Rui seems to be talking to Real Madrid's number 3 big man. They seem to know each other, but looking at their expressions, it seems that the conversation is not very pleasant. Hearing Lu Jian's words, everyone began to pay attention to what was happening on the field. This is where the players from both sides shake hands. The person who shook hands with Lin Rui was the same Dras who was injured by Lin Rui during the trial training at Real Madrid. It can be said that the two people are enemies and meet each other, and their eyes are red. The first time Dras saw Lin Rui, his eyes turned red. When the two sides were shaking hands, Dras directly palmed hard, wanting to give Lin Rui a dismount. However, Lin Rui did not get used to him, and also used his hand forcefully. Dras immediately felt as if his hand was pinched on a piece of steel. This made him feel shocked in his heart, and when he wanted to withdraw his palm, he found that he couldn't twitch anyway. At the same time, a strong force came from the other party's palm, which instantly made him feel a sharp pain. Dras's face instantly turned red and he almost cried out. But in the end, he still had some endurance, gritting his teeth and struggling to support there. Of course, Lin Rui did not have any intention of crushing the other party's palm, and seeing that the other party had been taught a lesson, he smiled and released his palm. Silly! When you want to step on people in the future, weigh yourself a few pounds and tails, Lin Rui whispered in Tress's ear. Bastard! Dras was furious, and immediately wanted to come up and teach Lin Rui a lesson. Lin Rui glared, and his indifferent gaze looked over, which immediately made Dras stunned. After weighing it, he really may not be able to do the other party, so he can only turn around and leave angrily. Before leaving, he also dropped a cruel word. Don't be proud, we'll see you on the court later, I'll definitely make you look good. Lin Rui smiled and didn't say anything, but looking at Dras's back, his eyes shot two cold lights. This episode did not affect the opening ceremony. Soon, the brief opening ceremony was completed, and the players from both sides stood in their own halves, waiting for the kickoff. Toot! The referee blew his whistle, and the game began. Good evening fans, and welcome to the second round of La Second Division, broadcast exclusively by Sports Weekly. Real Madrid be at home to Atletico Madrid. I am the host Lu Jian, and this game will be explained by me and my old partner Zhang Lu and our beautiful host Xu Fan. In the webcast room, Lu Jian began to talk about the opening remarks. When Zhang Lu and Xu Fan were introduced, the camera also gave the two, and the two smiled and waved hello to the camera at the same time. Now let's take a look at the starters on both sides, starting with the home side Real Madrid Atletico B. Goalkeeper, number 1 Ellis. Defenders, number 2 Casemiro, number 3 Dras, number 5 Alvar, number 8 Salaliga. Midfielders, number 7 Zuzeo, number 11 John Tolan, number 14 Denis Sarovic, number 17 Ricardo Lautz. Forwards, number 10 Woodridge, number 9 Lucas Vazquez. Real Madrid B played a 4-4-2 formation today. On the Atletico B side, the goalkeeper is the first one, number 1 Moji. Defenders, number 3 Ruben Perez, number 2 Antonio Lopez, number 5 Rigolan, number 8 Pedro, number 16 Kappa. Midfielders, number 7 Silvio, number 9 Nogra, number 12 Cadr, number 15 Javi Lara, number 10 Atensa. Forward, number 18 Lin Rui. On the Atletico B side, a 4-2-3-1 formation was released today, and Lin Rui, as the team's big center, was at the front. Well, now the referee has blown the whistle for the start of the first half, and the home team Real Madrid B kicks off first. Woodridge knocked the ball back to Zuzeo behind him, and he himself quickly rushed forward. After Zuzeo gets the ball, he steps forward. Hey! The ball was broken, and the ball that broke was Lin Rui. What is he going to do? Oh my god. He shot straight at goal. In the live broadcast room, Lu Jian was shocked. The other two hosts were also shocked. All the fans who saw this scene were shocked. Episode 32. As Lu Jian's exclamation sounded, everyone also exclaimed. I saw that just after Zuzeo received the ball, he had just taken a step forward, but was suddenly blocked by Atensa, who rushed over in the diagonal stab. Because Atensa appeared very suddenly, Zuzeo was startled and hurriedly passed the ball out. It's just that this pass was in a hurry, did not control the passing route, and was directly cut off by Lin Rui, who was moving on this side. Lin Rui raised his head for a moment's observation, then raised his right foot high, and then suddenly fell. Boom! Lin Rui's right foot was like a big hammer, directly hitting the middle and lower part of the football. With the blessing of his immense strength, the football underwent a visible deformation. Then it took off straight into the air and flew towards the Real Madrid goal. At this time, because it is Real Madrid's attack time, Real Madrid's goalkeeper Iras stands relatively high. When he saw Lin Rui shooting, he instinctively felt the danger and quickly ran towards the goal. It's a pity that his speed is simply not comparable to the flight speed of football. The football shot by Lin Rui, with the blessing of his perverted power, at an exaggerated speed, flew to the goal of Real Madrid in the blink of an eye. Ellis had also run to the goal at this time, and in a hurry, his body soared into the air, stretched out his right hand, and tried his best to block the football from entering the net. It's a pity that his movements are still half a beat slower, and the football grazes his hand and directly enters the upper right corner of the goal. When the football hit the net, Ellis' body also fell heavily on the turf in front of the goal. The ball went in. The ball actually went in. In the live broadcast room, Lu Jian directly burst out foul language, and the other two hosts were also stunned, unable to speak for a while. After a moment's gaffe, Lu Jian immediately reacted and roared excitedly, "Lin Rui." He broke the deadlock with a super long-range shot just 9 seconds into the game. It's incredible. Who could have thought of such a script before the game? It's just on. Now 1-0 on the pitch, Atletico Madrid B has taken the lead. This ball can shoot into the goal from the halfway line. It takes a lot of strength. Ordinary players do not have this kind of foot at all, and even if someone can shoot at halftime, it is only a hanging goal, and there are few people like Lin Rui who directly and vigorously bombard the goal. This requires a shooter, with great power and explosiveness, and it is indispensable. Those who can play this kind of shot, let alone in La B, it is estimated that even if it is La Liga, or even the entire world football, there should be few people. Zhang Lu, as a technical analyst invited by Sports Weekly, began to play his own strengths, and talked about the power of this shot. Wow. Coach Zhang, what did you just say about world football? Doesn't that mean that Lin Rui is now fully capable of playing in some top leagues? As a female host, Xu Fan is mainly responsible for enlivening the atmosphere. His words immediately caused the two male hosts to laugh. Zhang Lu said to Xu Fan while laughing, "Whether you can play in the top league or not, you can't just look at a certain ability of the players. Instead, it is necessary to examine a player from many aspects, such as physical fitness, various technical abilities, psychological quality, and ball intelligence, and so on." Lin Rui has only reached the level of the top league in terms of physical strength, but in other aspects, he needs to constantly prove himself in more games. Well, it's hard to play in the top league, it's even harder to be a star. Xu Fan couldn't help but frown at her good-looking brows. Of course, otherwise why do you think our country can't produce a world-class superstar? It can be said that in a country without football tradition, it is really difficult to produce a star. This is also why we attach so much importance to Lin Rui. It's really not easy for him to make a name for himself in the league of football powerhouses. Lu Jian also expressed his own emotion. By the way, Director Zhang, Lin Rui's goal should be regarded as the fastest goal in the West B, right? Well, it should be. I checked just now, and the original record for fastest goal in the second division should be 10.2 seconds. It was created by Granada striker First during the 1999-2000 season between Granada and Burgess. And Lin Rui's goal, the accurate time should be 8.9 seconds, which improves this record by more than a second. Now we can say that a great record in the second division was set by us Chinese. We are honored to bear witness to the birth of this record. Zhang Lu's voice was full of excitement, and the other two hosts were also full of excitement. This is a very glorious record, and they feel honored as witnesses. And at this time, the comment area of the live broadcast room has already been fried. Awesome. Record holder for fastest goal. That's awesome. I didn't expect to have the privilege of witnessing the birth of the record today. How far is that? Lin Rui is still near the middle line, right? 50 meters? I'll go. Just got in? It felt like a dream. How long is the opening? 9 seconds, just 9 seconds into the opening game, Lin Rui scored. It's incredible. This shot is too handsome, and the best goal of this round of the league has been booked by Lin Rui. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Is this what our players play? I'm going crazy. The overwhelming comments instantly raised the popularity of the live broadcast room to a higher level. This kid. When was it so powerful? Lin Igua in front of the computer saw Lin Rui's goal, and surprise flashed in his eyes. He had always opposed Lin Rui's football before, so he didn't pay much attention to his son's ability. In his opinion, his son's playing football is impulsive, and he will eventually return to normal life. If Li Mei hadn't been supporting Lin Rui, he would have stopped kicking the other party. But today, when he saw his son's performance on the court, and then heard the commentary of the host in the live broadcast room, as well as various comments in the comment area, he knew for the first time how powerful his son was. When did you care about your son? Now it seems that my vision is still high, right? Just ask whether you are convinced or not. The corners of Li Mei's mouth turned up at this time, and her face was proud. He used to support his son to play football, mainly because Lin Rui has always liked it, not that she is optimistic. Anyway, as long as the son likes it and loves it, then he supports it. However, in the middle of this, it is inevitable to encounter some cold words, especially her husband's opposition, which makes her actually very stressed. But now, Lin Rui used one of his goals to make all this pressure disappear in an instant. At this time, she is 2 words: proud. Boom. Seeing his wife's attitude, Lin Igua could only shake his head and smile bitterly, but there was no way to say anything. After all, the son of the people is powerful, and he can only avoid it. At this time, on the court, seeing his shot enter, Lin Rui immediately ran to the sidelines with open arms. After a while, the other players of Atletico also rushed to Lin Rui like crazy. Soon, Lin Rui was surrounded by his teammates. Silvio pounced on Lin Rui's back. The other players also followed suit and rushed towards Lin Rui. In an instant, Lin Rui's body was full of elated teammates. However, to everyone's surprise, Lin Rui, who had several people hanging on his body, was still standing there as stable as Mount Tai, and he raised his arms and let out a loud roar. That image, like an ancient behemoth, revealed a hideous face. The visiting fans in the stands were already crazy at this time, waving scarves and jerseys and other things in their hands, cheering wildly. Especially Claus and their phalanx, they waved the banner with Lin Rui's name on it, and they slapped their hands wildly while constantly shouting Lin Rui's name. Lin. Snap. Lin. Snap. Lin. Snap. Lin Rui in the stadium also heard the shouts in the stands, and he kept waving his arms in the direction where the shouts came from. This made the visiting fans even more crazy. Although there were less than 1,000 people, it created an earth-shattering momentum. At this time, the home fans woke up from the shock. They began to take advantage of their overwhelming numerical superiority and let out huge boos to silence the cheers of the away fans. However, the faces of every home team fan are not very good. In the opening game, he was entered into a world wave, and no one could be happy. At this time, Marcelo on the sidelines has been hugged by assistant coach Santos. Head, I didn't look at the eyes, did I? Scored just 9 seconds into the opening game, haha. We are ahead. Hearing the words of the assistant, Marcelo also smiled so hard that he couldn't see his teeth. However, he was still relatively calm, and immediately calmed down after the joy. Don't get too excited, the game is still long, you can't relax now, the opponent is Real Madrid, understand, but it will make me happy first. Haha, Santos said and made a fist shake in celebration. However, he forgot that he was wearing a shirt, and this action immediately made him hear the sound of fabric tearing from the armpit of his shirt. This made Santos's face suddenly become wonderful. Marcelo also noticed the situation of the assistant, and the old man suddenly burst out laughing. Here the home team's bench is full of joy, and correspondingly, the home team's bench is a dead silence. Real Madrid B coach Torres looked livid at this time, and when Lin Rui scored just now, he just dropped his beloved thermos cup and burst into several foul words. He never expected that the Chinese man who had been swept out by himself before would actually stab himself at the beginning of the game. And this knife is still so deep. This kind of world wave goal will definitely become a wonderful goal often broadcast by major media in the future. And the team that is the background is its own team. This was unacceptable to him. And he is also worried that if this goal is seen by the club's management, how he will explain it. The player who can play this kind of ball was actually driven away by his own hands. He no longer dared to imagine how he would answer when faced with such a reproach. Seeing the face of his boss, the other staff next to him did not even dare to breathe, for fear of ruining the pond fish. The head of the family is not a good-natured master. It took a long time for Torres to calm his anger. He beckoned to assistant coach Moya and ordered, "You go and convey my meaning to Dras, give me the Chinese man, I don't want him to show any more performance, even if he fouls when necessary." Hearing Torres' words, Moya hesitated and seemed to want to say something, but in the end he said nothing, and turned to convey the manager's intentions. Seeing Moya leave, Torres let out a heavy breath. Huagua boy, see if you can be arrogant this time. Episode 33. At this point, the football has been repositioned to the center kickoff point, and the players of Atletico Madrid B have also finished celebrating, and are giggling towards their own half. When all the players were back in their own half, the referee blew the whistle. As the referee's whistle sounded, Real Madrid B began to launch a frantic attack on Atletico Madrid B, trying to bring back the score in the shortest possible time. However, at this time, Atletico Madrid B team is when morale is high. In the face of Real Madrid B team's wild attack, Atletico Madrid players did not panic, but began to shrink the defense, play steadily, and play a defensive counterattack. In the 9th minute of the match, Real Madrid B launched an attack on the right flank. The team's right back Salalega quickly passed the midfield with the ball on the right flank, and faced Cattle, who came up to intercept. Salalega used a change of direction, dodged an empty position, and then sent a diagonal pass directly to the front of the box. In that position, Woodridge reached out to stop the ball. However, by this time, several defenders had already taken their positions in the restricted area of Atletico Madrid. Woodridge saw no chance of shooting and could only keep the ball at his feet and move sideways to the right of the box. And the Atletico defender under his pole, the formation in the box began to disperse. Woodridge, who saw the opportunity, suddenly sent a cross from the right side of the box to the middle of the field. Another Real Madrid striker, Vázquez, has already outflanked the incoming ball and directly kicked the goal. Unfortunately, his shot hit the Atletico defender and flew out of the box. Outside the box, Atletico Madrid midfielder Nogueira received the football. After he controlled the football, a smash flashed past Real Madrid midfielder Sarovic, who rushed up to steal, then looked up to observe the situation in front of him for a moment, and directly sent a long pass. On his passing route, Lin Rui had already started with his long legs. He was followed by Real Madrid defender Dras. Seeing Lin Rui rushing up, Dras followed Lin Rui closely like a dogskin plaster, and he also had various small movements on his hands, pushing and pulling Lin Rui's body from time to time. It's just that these small movements act on Lin Rui's body, like tickling, and they can't cause any interference to Lin Rui. Nogueira's pass gave Lin Rui a lot of advance, so when Lin Rui tried his best to run to the football landing point, the football also happened to fall. In the face of the incoming ball, Lin Rui stretched out his foot, and the football obediently fell at his feet, and the entire stopping process was smooth without a trace of stagnation. This ball stopped beautifully. In the live broadcast room, Jean-Luc couldn't help but marvel. Lin Rui's stop ball technique seems to be much stronger than in the last game, and this speed of improvement is really exaggerated. Lu Jian was also very surprised. Lin Rui's last game, he had seen it. In that game, although Lin Rui's performance was very eye-catching, at the same time, it also exposed many of his shortcomings. One of them is a stoppage. I remember seeing Lin Rui's stoppage at that time, and he secretly said in his heart that it was a pity that if Lin Rui could practice his stoppage well, then his value would definitely go to a higher level. Unexpectedly, just a week has passed, and the opponent's stoppage technique seems to have reached this level. This made Lu Jian also can't help but sigh. This guy is really a genius. And Marcelo on the sidelines couldn't help nodding secretly when he saw Lin Rui's kick stop. He is now very satisfied with this disciple of his own. This young man in China is not only physically good and talented, but also very diligent. In a short period of time, it is quite valuable to be able to practice the suspension of the ball that he was not good at to this extent. On the court at this time, Lin Rui stretched out his foot and stopped the ball in front of him. Then he rushed towards the Real Madrid penalty area. Seeing this, Blas, who had been interfering with him beside him, quickly stepped forward to block it. Just no matter how he pulls and hits Lin Rui's body, it has no effect. Lin Rui is like a strong dam, no matter how the torrent washes, it always stands. At this time, Alvar, another central defender of Real Madrid B team, also saw the danger and rushed up to help Lin Rui. Facing the interception of two defensive players, Lin Rui did not dare to dribble the ball forward. After all, his dribbling ability is really worrying. Stop your figure, hold the ball at your feet, and spread your arms to separate the traces. Then before Alvar arrived, it was a blast. Boom! After a bang, the football swept past Alvarez's face with a strong gust of wind, like an off-string arrow, straight to the top right corner of the goal. Real Madrid B team goalkeeper Iris, seeing the football flying in his direction, quickly flew to block. It's just that the football is flying too fast, and he has tried his best, but in the end he has not been able to touch the football. Just when he thought that this ball would go in, he suddenly heard a boom behind him. There was a loud crash. Iris quickly looked back. It turned out that the football smashed on the goal beam, and the bounce flew out of the bottom line. Oops! It's a pity for this ball. Lu Jian patted his thigh and shouted in annoyance. If this goal goes in, it will be awesome. The power under Lin Rui's feet was really terrifying. Such a long distance to get up directly, really bold people. Jean-Luc was also very impressed. On the court at this time, seeing his shot hit the goal frame, Lin Rui scratched his head with some chagrin. Then seeing that Das next to him was still attached to him, Lin Rui was annoyed in his heart, and directly reached out and pulled Das aside, and then directly flew away, leaving an angry Dras in place, but he had no choice, and finally he could only spit in the direction Lin Rui left, and ran away angrily. This scene was seen by netizens in front of the computer and mobile phone, and there was immediately a burst of discussion. Groove. Lin Rui is domineering. Not used to that silly big man at all. Awesome, laugh at me. Look at the bully of that foreign devil, I look a little unbearable. This is the first time I've seen Chinese players bully foreign players, and in the past, our players were bullied by others. Now I see the other way around, what a relief. That is, we Chinese are too humble, but this virtue has become a disadvantage on the court. Now that Lin Rui, a freak, has finally appeared, it can be regarded as giving us Chinese people a long face. Isn't that friendly enough? Our players still have to pay attention to their words and deeds on the court. After all, he represents the image of our country. If it is not done well, it will damage the image of the country. Seeing a hypocrite, everyone come and watch. When the fuck did he even have such stupid remarks? What a big groove. This kind of person is a fool who does not understand the essence of competitive sports, so he should be allowed to go up and try it to see if he can convince people with virtue in the face of those foreign players who are personally tall. I guess he might have to be bullied and cry by then. The image of the country is not something that can be maintained by your politeness, and in the end it is still based on achievements. No matter how gentleman you behaved, in the end the results were a mess, and the country's image could not be maintained. The most annoying thing is this kind of person, who is low to foreigners, as if this can make people look up. As everyone knows, the more you are like this, the more people think that you are a bully. Only with self-respect and self-love, not humility and indecency, can others look at you squarely. Because of Lin Rui's action, the comments in the live broadcast room came to a wave of discussion climax. Looking at the comments floating on the screen, several hosts in the live broadcast room also looked at each other and laughed. Netizens are right, we Chinese players still lack the domineering spirit of others on the court. If there are more players like Lin Rui, I think Huagua's football level will definitely be higher, Zhang Lu said with emotion. He's been an international before, and of course he's very touched by that. In the past, when facing foreign teams, Chinese players always seemed very humble, which also led to the opponent always thinking that Chinese players were bullies. So on the pitch, they will intensify and bully you even more until they test your bottom line. In this process, Chinese players are mostly the losing side. And now seeing Lin Rui's attack power and unaccustomed behavior towards his opponent, his heart was very happy. It seems that director Zhang attaches great importance to Lin Rui, a young man. But don't you think he's too aggressive? Lu Jian said playfully. Yes, from the perspective of ordinary Chinese, Lin Rui is indeed too aggressive, perhaps contrary to the character of our nation. But this is a good character for a professional player. Generally, players with this kind of personality will not have too bad achievements. Zhang Lu did not hide his appreciation for Lin Rui, which made Lu Jian also laugh dumbly. Actually, I think Lin Rui is really manly like this. I think a man should be like Lin Rui and dare to fight back against any opponent. If I want to find a boyfriend, I must look for Lin Rui like this, so that I can feel safe. Xu Fan also had the expression of a little fangirl, which made the two male hosts also laugh. At this time, Iris, who had escaped the disaster, had already opened the football big foot. In midfield, Zuzeo stopped the ball at his feet and immediately launched a wave of fast attacks. He first used his foot technique to pass Atletico defender Perez, who came up to intercept him, and then immediately passed the ball diagonally to Salauga on the right wing. After Salauga took the ball, he went forward and went straight down. Then a direct cross near the baseline. At this time, in the penalty area, the players of Real Madrid B team were outflanked in front of the middle and back 3 points. The ball cut an arc in the air, first bypassing the front point and falling into the middle of the penalty area. However, Woodridge's header from this position was not on target. The football was rubbed by him and flew directly diagonally out of the bottom line. Although the goal was not scored, it also scared Atletico fans into a cold sweat. The home fans in the stands clapped even harder. Just now, I was pressed and beaten by Atletico Madrid B team, which made Real Madrid fans very unhappy. Although they didn't score a goal in this attack just now, they finally felt a hint of exhalation. Torres on the sidelines finally showed a smile. Lao Tzu is not powerful, you still treat me as a sick cat. We are the great Real Madrid, waiting to meet our wrath, Torres thought fiercely. Episode 34. Here Marcelo saw the attack of Real Madrid B team, and suddenly could not sit still. He walked quickly to the sidelines, clasped his hands to his mouth, and loudly reminded the players to pay attention. Hearing the roar of the manager, the players of Atletico B suddenly became nervous. After the football was fired by Atletico Madrid goalkeeper Moji, Atletico Madrid also launched a wave of fast attacks. However, in the end, Atence's shot deflected off the right upright of the goal. The players from both sides came and went, and there was a fierce confrontation. This made the fans who came to watch the game excited. This is the case in the game of the second division. Maybe the technical and tactical level of the players is not as high as the level of the first division, and the team's tactical execution is not good. But there is one point, definitely more than La Liga. That's how hot the game is. Generally, two teams with little difference in strength will generally adopt the tactic of attack, because in this way, the viewing of the whole game is suddenly improved. It can also attract a group of fans to watch the game. Otherwise, your whole strength is not as good as La Liga, and if the game scene is not more popular, the fans will not buy it at all. The strength of the two teams Real Madrid B and Atletico Madrid B is not much different, and the strength of Real Madrid B can only be said to have a slight advantage. Therefore, the two teams will not be too conservative at all when they come up, and they will definitely attack out. Coupled with the fact that the two teams are mortal rivals in the same city, they will not stay. Although Atletico Madrid are now 1-0 ahead, this one-goal advantage simply does not satisfy the desire of Atletico fans. Not to mention Real Madrid, they are now eager to equalize the score as soon as possible, so they can only strengthen their attack. In this way, the two teams can only invest heavily in the front court to see who can score first. In the 21st minute, Atletico Madrid B attacked. Silvio took the ball in the middle and used his skillful footwork to pass Sarovic straight away. Then a straight kick was sent directly. Atenza received the pass, he turned his back to the goal, tried to pull the ball and turn around, but was directly tripped by Real Madrid defender Alvar, who came up to defend. Toot, the referee was aware and directly blew Alvarez foul. Atletico Madrid B won a free kick in front. Atenza stood up and was about to take the free kick. In Atletico, he has been the #1 penalty taker from free kicks, but at this time, he was stopped by Lin Rui. Atenza, let me try this ball, right? Lin Rui directly stated his request. Atenza was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, okay, you will take the penalty. The main reason why he is so happy is that the position of this free kick is not very easy to handle. The place of the foul was more than 30 meters away from the goal, on the left side of the goal. A free kick in this position, with his ability, is difficult to score. In this case, it is better to be a smooth person. That big man in Huagua is not a good-tempered person, and it is better whether he cannot be sinned or not. With Atenza's consent, Lin Rui came to the penalty spot with the football in his arms, put the football in the position designated by the referee, slowly retreated, and waited for the opponent's human wall to be placed. This is... Lin Rui wants to take this free kick? I didn't hear he could take free kicks, Lu Jian said a little strangely. Lin Rui's move is a bit unwise. Free kicks require high technique, and they are not casual to play well. He was a bit reckless this time, and if he didn't play well, he might leave a bad impression on the team's manager. As a professional, Zhang Lu also expressed his opinion. He doesn't think a power player like Lin Rui can play a high-quality free kick. Marcelo on the sidelines also frowned when he saw that Lin Rui was going to take a free kick. What is Lin doing? Does he play free kicks? Marcelo said to Santos next to him with some dissatisfaction. Maybe Lin just wanted to try it. Santos can only explain it that way. Forget it, he can play if he wants. This ball is not easy to play. I hope he tries it and can understand that free kicks are not just anyone can play well. Marcelo waved his hand casually, seemingly forgiving Lin Rui's self-made claims. Santos next to him couldn't help but shake his head. Lin Rui, this guy is really the head coach's favor. If this is an ordinary player, who dares to take a free kick on his own initiative in the game, it is estimated that he will be reckoned by Marcelo after the end of the game. And when he came to Lin Rui, looking at Marcelo's meaning, he obviously didn't want to pursue it anymore. But it's normal to think about it, after all, a player who can keep bringing victory to the team, which manager cannot like. Sometimes occasionally make a small mistake, and you can be tolerated. At this time, on the pitch, Real Madrid B team has also lined up the wall. They only fielded a 5-man wall, which shows that their team does not pay much attention to this free kick. After all, the ball is a bit far from the goal. Seeing Real Madrid's wall of people lined up, the referee immediately blew a whistle that could be taken free throws. As the whistle sounded, Lin Rui began to run from a position 5 or 6 meters away from the football. Seeing his run, everyone's eyes shrunk. Soon, Lin Rui rushed to the front of the football. His left foot stepped on the left front of the football, and then his right foot was raised high. Just after his right foot reached the highest point, his thigh muscles contracted suddenly, driving his thick calf and falling suddenly. I saw that his right foot was like a giant hammer, smashing on the football. The football was smashed by this, and it underwent a visible deformation, and then it rushed out. Real Madrid's human wall jumped in unison at the same time as Lin Rui kicked the ball out. It was only to their relief that the football that Lin Rui kicked did not seem to pass above them, but flew to their sides. If you fly in this direction, 9 times out of 10, the football will be missed. Oh. It's a pity. A lot of Atletico fans can't help but lament in their hearts. It seems that Lin Rui's free kick kung fu is indeed a little worse. Just now watching the other party's actions, I thought there was a drama, but now it seems that I think too much. But at this moment, a scene that surprised everyone appeared. I saw that the football that bypassed the human wall suddenly underwent a strange change in midair. After a big turn, I jumped straight into the top left corner of the goal, and the Real Madrid goalkeeper did not react at all at this time. It wasn't until the football hit the net that he turned his head in confusion. Seeing that the football was already inside his goal, he froze with a damn expression. After being stunned for a while, he looked at Lin Rui, who had already been surrounded by a group of teammates to celebrate. Is this guy the devil? This kind of ball can be kicked. Why are you so unlucky today? 2 consecutive world waves, both scored the goal they guarded. Such 2 goals will definitely become classic goals that are played repeatedly in the future, and as a background board, they will be nailed to the pillar of shame forever. The thought of such a result almost drove him crazy. The ball went in. In. This ball is so weird. I thought it was going to fly out of the bottom line, but I didn't expect it to turn back in the end. It's amazing, Lu Jian roared excitedly. This ball. Was Carlos' heavy artillery shot? Right. That's right, it's Carlos' heavy artillery attacking skill. When did Lin Rui learn this trick? Zhang Lu's eyes showed an incredible look. Carlos' heavy artillery? Don't say, this ball is really similar to the S-shaped heavy cannon shot that Carlos kicked. Lu Jian also reacted and exclaimed in surprise. At this time, the live broadcast room was also suddenly lively. The trajectory of this ball. How weird he is. Can this get him in? This is also too hanging. I thought I was blinded. The ball was obviously flying towards the corner, who would have thought that it would turn halfway into the goal? What an eye-opener. Lin Rui is awesome. Carlos' classic free kick was perfectly reproduced by him. I wonder how Carlos would feel if he saw this ball at this point. Haha. Now that Atletico Madrid B team has led Real Madrid B 2-0, Lin Rui scored twice and directly handled all the goals, and today's live broadcast is really enjoyable. With these 2 goals, how can Lin Rui also attract the attention of the first team? I really hope that Lin Rui can be recruited by the first team as soon as possible, so that we can see our Chinese players on the field of La Liga. It's really possible for you to say this. If Lin Rui is recruited to the first team, then the picture. At this time, on the pitch, the away fans in the stands have once again gone crazy. They never imagined that they would see such a wonderful goal on the spot today. They cheered excitedly and sent their warmest applause and cheers. Many away fans were even driven by Claus and their Lin Rui supporters, shouting Lin Rui's name. The banner with Lin Rui's name written on it was even more waving. The vast majority of home fans, who dominated the stands, were shocked and frustrated. The free kick that Lin Rui kicked just now was particularly complicated for them. After all, it was a replica of their Real Madrid legend Robert Carlos' classic free kick. Carlos' heavy free kicks brought them too many good memories. But now, that kind of free kick is at the feet of a player who is a sworn rival in the same city. This made Real Madrid fans particularly unhappy, but at the same time, there is some helplessness. However, the instinct of the home team fans still made them start to boo after being surprised, suppressing the cheers of the away fans. It's just that this time the boos are much weaker than the last one. This also seems to indicate the confusion in the hearts of many Real Madrid fans. Marcelo on the sidelines was already surrounded by a huge sense of happiness at this time. Lin Rui's free kick just now stunned him, and he was stunned for a long time before reacting. Haha. Santos, see? We have a free kick master. Marcelo excitedly patted Santos next to him, grinning at Santos for a while. At the same time, my heart is also slandering. This is not the reluctance when he saw Lin Rui take a free kick just now. And on the home bench next to them, Torres had just reacted from shock at this time. His face had turned livid at this time. Damn Higuain. This ball must be hooded. This is definitely not his true strength. Torres comforted himself through gritted teeth, but only he knew that his faith had been shaken. Is that Chinese really blindfolded? Why can you score such a shocking goal twice in a row? What kind of monster did you let go? At this moment, Torres' heart was panicked. Episode 35. In a corner of the stands, Atletico Madrid's chief scout Camero was looking at Lin Rui, who was celebrating a goal in the stadium, with a serious face. He was sent by Atletico first-team coach Simeone to inspect Lin Rui. Before coming, I heard that it was to examine a Chinese player who played for the B team, but he still didn't understand. In his opinion, Higuain does not seem to have any player worthy of his club's chief scout. You know, the players who need him to personally scout must be some very promising players, or big stars who have already achieved fame. As for a Chinese player from the B team, he really doesn't care too much. But Simeone's orders, he could not but listen. This manager is not a good match. No matter how unwilling he is, he must also carry out the orders of the other party. It's just that at the beginning of the game, he knew that he might be wrong. The Chinese player he is going to examine today may really be a player who needs to be taken seriously. Just 9 seconds into the game, he scored a long-range shot for his team. This kind of goal, no matter where it is placed, should be a very good performance. Of course, that goal also has a certain element of luck in it, and it is not ruled out that the other side is blinded. Therefore, after the excitement, Camero immediately calmed down and began to carefully observe Lin Rui's performance. At this time, he no longer had the carelessness he had at the beginning. After a closer look, Camero found more information. The opponent's strength is super strong, the header is good, the shooting ability, and the ability to grab points in front of goal are also good. But at the same time, his technique at his feet is rough, he can't dribble, his passing is not accurate enough, and his defensive skills are not very good. It can be said that Lin Rui is a player whose advantages and disadvantages are very obvious. This made Camero a little tangled. In the current football environment, the requirements for the comprehensiveness of players are getting higher and higher, and players like Lin Rui, who have very distinct advantages and disadvantages, are becoming less and less popular. However, Lin Rui is a little special, his strength is too strong. Camilo has never seen any player with such power. It can be said that even if Lin Rui is put in the strong La Liga now, his strength is also a unique existence, and he also has a good header and shot. This is simply the perfect candidate for the perfect stake-up center forward, and Atletico Madrid now lacks this kind of role. From this point of view, Lin Rui is indeed very suitable for the requirements of the first team, so Camero decided to keep watching. If Lin Rui is only a characteristic of great strength, then even if he is put on the first team, he can only be used as a substitute role player. and you can't be entrusted with heavy responsibilities. And soon, he saw another ability of Lin Rui. This guy's free kick is kind of interesting. Camero wrote down this characteristic of Lin Rui in his notebook. The free kick is excellent and powerful, with Carlos. This free kick made Lin Rui's image rise a position in Camero's heart. Now he can already determine that Lin Rui, a Chinese player, can now play in La Liga. Just trying to find a place in a big team like Atletico Madrid may be a little difficult, but combined with the age of the other party, this is definitely a promising future star. Therefore, Camero's interest in Lin Rui became stronger and stronger at this time. At this time on the court, the game has resumed. Real Madrid B, who trailed by 2 goals, were eager to equalize, so they launched a fierce attack on Atletico B's goal at the start of the game. In the 25th minute, Zuzeo attacked on the right flank and he went over to steal his Perez before sending a diagonal kick. The football was picked up by Woodridge after passing through the gap between 2 defenders in Atletico B. Woodridge took the ball straight into the box and pushed it straight before the Atletico defender came up to block. However, his shot was a bit right and was saved by Atletico goalkeeper Moji. In the 28th minute, Real Madrid made a comeback. This time it was Real Madrid right back Salaliga who crossed directly from the right flank with the ball. Vázquez, who followed in the middle, grabbed the first drop point and threw his head to the goal. Unfortunately, when he was jumping, he was interfered by Atletico defender Reguilón, resulting in him not having a top position and the football was higher than the crossbar. In the 34th minute, Real Madrid won a corner kick. Lin Rui also returned to the box to participate in the defense, and his defense is precisely glass, and Zuzeo's corner kick was found by the tall Dras. This is also a tactic that Real Madrid B team has often used before. After all, Dras is nearly 2 meters tall and is naturally a head player. Only this time Dras was doomed to capsize, because he was followed by Lin Rui. Although Lin Rui's height is not as tall as Dras, he doesn't seem to be as strong as Feng Rui. But when 2 people fight together, they immediately divide the superiority. The 2 people jumped at the same time to meet the ball, and at the same time as jumping, the bodies of the 2 inevitably collided together. Under this impact, Lin Rui's body only froze slightly, and then jumped up without hindrance. Dras's body immediately flew sideways under this impact. After landing, he stumbled a few more steps and almost fell on his horse. At this time, the football was naturally easily topped by Lin Rui. As soon as Lin Rui swung his head, the football was given to Silvio outside the box. Silvio stopped the ball at his feet, turned around with a pull, and took the opportunity to pass Sarovic, who was on the upper snatch. Then he dribbled forward with the ball and launched a quick counterattack. However, in the end, because there was no answer, he was caught up by Sarovic and used foul tactics to pull him to the ground. For this, Sarovic also paid the price of a yellow card. This made Torres on the sidelines so angry that he almost dropped his cup. What the hell is going on with this idiot of Dras? Why did it turn into a soft-footed shrimp as soon as I touched that Huaguayan? Torres complained indignantly to Moya, the assistant next to him. Moya could only spread his hands helplessly, saying that he couldn't understand either, but his heart was slandering. That Huagua guy was driven away by your old man, and now it has become our biggest trouble. You should reflect on what you have done. Of course, he could only complain about this in his heart, and he would never dare to say it. On the court, Dras, who had just stabilized his figure, saw that because he lost in the confrontation, he was immediately counterattacked by his opponent, which directly led to his own side getting a yellow card. His heart couldn't hold back too much. He looked at Lin Rui's eyes full of unwillingness and resentment, and there was also a trace of jealousy. Through several confrontations, no matter how stupid he was, he understood that his strength was not Lin Rui's opponent at all. This made him understand in addition to his resentment that it was somewhat difficult for him to crush the other party with his body, so it's just another way. After the game resumed, Dras began to consciously reduce the physical confrontation with Lin Rui and turned to small movements. In the 37th minute of the game, Lin Rui jumped from the top of the arc of the penalty area. This time, Dras did not go to fight Lin Rui, but covertly grabbed the corner of Lin Rui's clothes and pulled hard, immediately making Lin Rui's body in the air lag. In the end, although Lin Rui also topped the football, he did not eat the right part, and the football flew high out of the bottom line. After landing, Lin Rui looked at his deformed clothes, and then looked at Dras, who looked smug next to him, did not speak, but his eyes were a little cold. Boy, how do you feel? Isn't it cool? I tell you, I have the means to deal with you, you better be honest with me. When Dras saw Lin Rui coming over, he became even more arrogantly provocative, trying to make Lin Rui make some radical movements through the stimulation of language. He was ready. If Lin Rui made a move on him for a while, then he would directly fall to the ground, and then that Huagua kid would have fun. It was just to his disappointment that Lin Rui just looked at him coldly, and then scolded, "Stupid." He turned around and left. This made Dras very upset. Boy, don't be proud, you look good. Dras thought fiercely. He had decided that he must use his own small means to collapse the other party's mentality, and it was best to do it directly. He didn't believe that the other party was a young man who could endure his constant prodding. This time it should be a foul on Real Madrid B, Their number 3 big player pulled Lin Rui's shirt, causing his header to lose accuracy. Strictly speaking, this ball should have been awarded a penalty. In the live broadcast room, Lu Jian said with some indignation. Strictly speaking, the foul should indeed have been awarded a penalty, but apparently the referee did not notice this small action, which allowed the opponent to escape. Now I only hope that Lin Rui can control his anger and not be affected by the other party's mentality. Otherwise, it is likely to fall into the calculations of the other party. Zhang Lu's voice was a little worried. He has been a player, of course, and knows that such a small action without being punished will definitely make the player who has been fouled feel very uncomfortable. There are a lot of young and vigorous players who will affect their mentality and make irrational moves. And the current Lin Rui is also a young player. As for whether he is vigorous, it depends on the performance of the other party. In this regard, Zhang Lu also pinched a handful of sweat. But soon, his fears dissipated. In the 42nd minute, Atletico B once again attacked in front. Silvio crossed again on the wing. The object of his pass, of course, is the tall Lin Rui. At this time, Dras, who was still following Lin Rui, saw the ball passing and wanted to repeat the old trick. He peeked at the referee's position, then moved his body to a position that was not easy for the referee to spot. Then quietly stretched out his right hand, ready to grab the corner of Lin Rui's clothes again to influence the opponent's header to compete for the top. But before his hand touched the corner of the other party's clothes, he suddenly felt that his waist was hit by a huge force. Drastin felt a sharp pain coming, so that he could no longer maintain his body balance, covered his waist and fell to the ground. On the other side, Lin Rui, who had a successful sneak attack, directly came to a beautiful shake of the head to attack the goal. The ball is headed against the top right corner of the goal. Ellis couldn't make a save, and the football went straight into the net. Episode 36. The Atletico B players immediately cheered when they saw the football score, and the Atletico fans in the stands also stood up and cheered. At this time, the referee's whistle also sounded. However, his gesture was not effective in scoring, but awarded Lin Rui for crashing people. Seeing this scene, the Atletico fans and players who had just cheered suddenly covered their heads in annoyance. However, Lin Rui didn't seem to care, and he also very kindly walked up to Dras, who was still lying on the ground at this time, and reached out to pull the other party up. Dras had not eased up at this time. Just now he was hit on the waist by Lin Rui's butt, and he almost couldn't breathe. At this time, being dragged by Lin Rui again immediately made him miserable, and at this moment, Lin Rui's cold voice came from his ears. How do you feel? Silly lack. Next time you mess with me, I'll let you lie down. Hearing Lin Rui's words, Dlaston was furious. He looked at Lin Rui angrily, wanting to teach the other party a lesson. But his wrist was grabbed by Lin Rui and he couldn't move. Coupled with the fact that there was still some discomfort in his waist, this made him stand there in humiliation and could not do anything. Lin Rui put down the cruel words, then released the hand holding Dras, and flew away, leaving Dlas alone there shaking his wrist. This savage Hua Guiyan was also too strong, and his wrist was about to break. At this time, the goal that had just been blown off also began to play on the big screen at the scene. At this time, everyone saw clearly that Lin Rui just arched his butt before receiving the ball just now, looking like he was preparing to jump, and the arched ass accidentally hit Dras behind him. Under this seemingly powerless impact, Dras directly turned into a rolling gourd, and while falling, it was accompanied by an exaggerated expression of pain. Atletico fans who saw this scene immediately booed, and they angrily cursed Dras, thinking that he was a shameful liar who faked a fall. The referee on the field was also very upset at this time. Just now, when he saw Dras fall to the ground, he directly blew Lin Rui into a foul. And now it seems that Lin Rui's impact of that magnitude is simply impossible for a big man like Dras to fall like that. This time, it seems that he was deceived. Thinking that his fame had been ruined by a guy who looked stupid, he gritted his teeth with hatred. It seems that this is a miscalculation. Just now Lin Rui's action range is not large. The defender of Real Madrid is completely fake falling. It's a pity that one of Lin Rui's good balls was blown off, Lu Jian said with some indignation. Yes, it's definitely a fake fall. Real Madrid's number 3 is quite good at acting, and he has deceived the referee. But I think he will be sad in the rest of the game. I believe the referee has already set eyes on him, Zhang Lu said with great certainty, and in the later game it also confirmed his words. In the 45th minute of the game, in a defense, Dras wanted to repeat his old tricks and pulled the corner of Lin Rui's clothes very covertly. It's just that this little action of his was caught by the referee who had been staring at him. The referee directly blew a foul on Dras, and without hesitation, took out a topaz card from his pocket and lit it in front of him. Dras was stunned all of a sudden. His own action is at most a warning thing. Why did he directly give himself a yellow card? He rushed to the referee with some emotion to justify his actions. However, the referee who had blacklisted him had no intention of listening to his explanation. Drive him straight away and warn him that if he continues to get entangled, he will be given another yellow card and let him go. At this moment, Dras was completely honest. He did not dare to bet on whether the referee could do what he said, and could only walk back to his team in ashes. Atletico B fans who saw this scene immediately felt refreshed and began to boo mockingly at Dras. Hearing the boo, Dras was even more angry, but helpless. He glanced at Lin Rui with a smile on his face at this time. If it weren't for this damn Huaguijia, how could he be so embarrassed? Everything is the guy's fault. At this point, the first half of the game was nearing its end, and the referee only gave 1 minute of stoppage time. After Real Madrid B completed an attack, the referee blew the whistle for the end of the first half. At halftime, Marcelo affirmed the performance of the players in the first half, especially Lin Rui, who scored 2 goals, and received strong praise from him. For the second half, Marcelo simply explained 2 words: let the players continue to play according to the rhythm of the first half. Then the dressing room was handed over to the players. When Marcelo left, the young players came alive immediately. With the score ahead, all the players were in a good mood. A few lively players danced bare-chested. The entire dressing room was immersed in a joyous atmosphere. On the other side, in the home team's dressing room not far away, there was a tense atmosphere. Torres, with a black face, is reprimanding his players for their first half performance. He was very dissatisfied with the team's performance in the first half. In his opinion, with the current strength of Real Madrid B team, it should not be left behind in front of Atletico B team, and at home, in front of thousands of home fans, 2 goals behind. This simply disgraced him. Especially thinking that the 2 goals conceded were caused by the Chinese man who swept him out, his heart was even more annoyed. This is slapping his face. Therefore, he had nowhere to vent his anger, and he could only vent it with his players. The Real Madrid players were also depressed at this time. To be fair, their first half performance couldn't be said to be bad either. At least it is on par with the opponent, and even slightly prevails on the scene. But the end result was 2 goals behind. This made them also hold their stomachs. Now he was scolded by the head coach again, and his heart was even more humiliated. But no one dared to talk back to the manager. Although Torres has a bad temper, he still has prestige in the team. If you want to continue working on the team, it's better not to offend. After cursing for several minutes, Torres felt the anger in his heart diminish slightly, and only then arranged the second half. In the second half we have to continue to strengthen our attack and try to get the score back in the shortest possible time. At the same time, our defense has to keep up and I don't want any more goals. Torres paused, turned his head to look at Dras, who was sitting in the chair at this time, and said, Dras, in the second half, I hope you can be more aggressive and don't let that Chinese guy scare you. If you can't limit his play, then there's no value in you staying on the field, and I'll consider replacing you. Do you understand? Episode 37. Hearing the head coach's words, Dras could only bite the bullet and nod in agreement. It's just that the expression on his face is a little ugly. In the first half, he deeply appreciated Lin Rui's power. He was already a little stunned at this time. However, in the face of the manager's arrangement, he has no other choice but to accept. After Torres had laid out his tactics for the second half, the time for the halftime had passed. Both players are back on the pitch. The referee blew the whistle and the second half began. From the very beginning of the game, the players on both sides did not have any temptation and went straight into the fierce confrontation. In the 47th minute of the match, Real Madrid B launched an attack, and Zuzeo kicked straight in the middle of the front field, directly penetrating the entire Atletico B team's entire backline. Woodridge successfully countered offside and formed a single knife goal. Facing the attacking Moji, he wanted to come and shoot. It's a pity that the strength was not well controlled, and the football smashed on the crossbar and popped out the bottom line. This made the Real Madrid fans in the stands all hold their heads with regret. In the 49th minute, Atletico Madrid B launched a counterattack. Silvio crosses diagonally from the right. Lin Rui crossed with a header on the left side of the box, and Atensa, who followed in the middle, met the ball directly. The football hit the leg of the Real Madrid B defender and popped the line. Atletico B team wins a corner. Now the corner kicks of Atletico B team are basically directly to Lin Rui's high point. This time was no exception, and the corner kick opened by Silvio directly found Lin Rui's head. Under the squeeze of the 2 defenders of the Real Madrid B team, Lin Rui used his physical advantage to directly carry the 2 away and easily jumped to the top of the football. However, this time the goalkeeper of Real Madrid B reacted very quickly and directly hit the ball out of the box. Nogueira received the ball from outside the box, followed by a long-range shot. The football grazed the crossbar and flew out of the bottom line. For a time, the 2 sides were inseparable from each other. However, as time passed, Real Madrid's B team became more and more anxious. They are still 2 goals behind, and the further time goes on, the worse it is for them. And in a hurry, the players' actions will inevitably become bigger. In the 54th minute, Nogueira dribbled the ball in midfield and was tackled directly to the ground by John Tolan, who was defending him. Nogueira rolled several times on the ground before he stabilized his figure. The referee blew John Tolan's foul, but but only gave the opponent a warning and did not pull out the cards. It is that the players of Atletico B are very dissatisfied, and they have surrounded the referee to say, but was directly driven away by the referee. In the 58th minute, Silvio was elbowed by Alvar as he struggled with Alvar. Silvio fell to the ground in pain, the corners of his mouth were broken and blood flowed. The foul made Atletico B players excited and came to Alvar's troubles. Lin Rui was the first to rush up and directly pushed Alvar into a big heel. Seeing this, the players of the Real Madrid B team immediately rushed up and confronted the players of Atletico. However, none of them dared to provoke Lin Rui, only dared to curse, but they did not dare to rush up and make a move. Fortunately, at this time, the referee rushed over in time to separate the two teams of players. Otherwise, Lin Rui will come to a tiger into the flock. Soon, the referee began handing out yellow cards to both sides. Alvar, who caused the riot, was first shown a yellow card, then Lin Rui, who pushed people, was also served by the yellow card. In addition, two of the more noisy players were shown yellow cards. In this way, two people on each side are dyed yellow. It is an explanation for this chaos. However, this made both players a little dissatisfied, and scolded and separated. The coaches on the sidelines are also for tat. Look at your players, they're not playing football, they're playing rugby. Marcelo yelled at Torres next to him with an annoyed look. Your player is a barbarian, look at that Huagua guy, he dares to push people. The referee should send him off with a red card. Not to be outdone, Torres sneered. The two managers quarreled and quarreled. If it weren't for the staff on both sides pulling, it is estimated that the two people would be facing each other. Because of the conflict, the game was interrupted for several minutes. When the game resumed, the players on both sides, who were holding their grievances, moved more and more. The referee's whistle also began to sound frequently. In just over 10 minutes, the referees of both sides sent out 3 more yellow cards, which can be regarded as slightly suppressing the anger of both sides. Among them, Real Madrid B team took 1 yellow card, while Atletico Madrid B team took 2 yellow cards. Although Atletico B suffered a slight loss, this broken game form is very beneficial to them, so they are not in a hurry. Now it is Real Madrid B on the other side who are in a hurry. In this case, it is inevitable that there will be some loopholes in the front of Real Madrid's B team. In the 67th minute, Real Madrid B right back Salalega came up with the ball to assist. However, when he passed through the midfield, he was directly poked away by Nogra. After the tackle, Nogra made a long pass with a big foot to Cadale on the left side of the front. At this time, due to Salal's additional assist, the back line of the Real Madrid B team was empty. Cadale stopped the ball very easily, and after attracting another Real Madrid B defender to come up to defend, sent a cross straight in. Lin Rui, who was in the middle, was also outflanked in place at this time, and directly jumped to the top in the face of the incoming ball. Although behind him, Dras desperately tugged on his shirt to try to stop his header from scoring the goal. But it doesn't help. Lin Rui was like a high-altitude bomber, directly to the football. The football was directly pushed to the bottom right corner of the goal, and after hitting the ground, it flew directly into the goal after rebounding. Although Iris tried his best to make a save, he could not touch the football and could only watch the football go into the net. Seeing the football in the net, the referee blew the whistle in his mouth while pointing his right hand to the center circle to signal that the goal was valid. The ball went in. The ball went in. Hat-trick. Hat-trick, Lu Jian roared loudly. This header is too domineering. No one can stop it. The defender on the other side also tried his best, but it was a pity that the gap between him and Lin Rui was too big. It couldn't cause Lin Rui any trouble at all. Zhang Lu's face was also full of admiration. So handsome. So manly. I feel like I'm being fanned by Lin Rui. Shoo. Fan also had a foolish expression. On the court at this time, amid the excited cheers of the visiting fans and the weak boos of the home fans, Lin Rui opened his arms and ran. The players of Atletico B's team also rushed up and surrounded Lin Rui. They jumped onto Lin Rui one by one, excitedly celebrating the goal. Marcelo on the sidelines was even more excited at this time, and almost jumped tap. On the other side, Torres had a grey face, his eyes revealed unwillingness, and he sat down on the chair. Episode 38. On the court, Dras, who had just gotten up from the ground, spat very depressed. He tried his best just now, but he still couldn't stop Lin Rui's header. Instead, he was also brought to the ground by the strong force of the other party. At this moment, his heart was filled with a sense of powerlessness. What kind of monster are you facing? Dras lamented in his heart. But fortunately, this time his own pulling behavior did not attract the attention of the referee. Otherwise, you may have been sent off with a red card at this point. The players of Atletico Madrid B celebrated for 2 minutes until the referee intervened and walked back to their own half. After the game resumed, Real Madrid's B team, which was 3 goals behind, had no choice but to continue to press aggressively. Atletico Madrid, on the other hand, played a defensive counterattack comfortably. Anyway, now that the 3-goal lead is now there is no need to fight with the opponent again. In this way, on the field, Real Madrid B team looks to have the upper hand. It's just that this is just a good look on the scene. In fact, Atletico B's defense is airtight, and Real Madrid B can only turn the football upside down outside the box. When there is really no chance, I will also draw the goal to shoot from a distance. It's just that such a shot is not a big threat to the goalkeeper. As Real Madrid's B formation continues to press forward, the space behind them is getting bigger and bigger. At this time, the opportunity for Atletico B to counterattack also came. In the 74th minute, Sarovic fired a long-range shot from the edge of the box and was firmly held in the arms of Atletico B goalkeeper Moji. Just as Moji was trying to stabilize himself, he heard someone shouting at him. When he looked up, he saw that it was Lin Rui who was waving towards him for the ball. Without any hesitation, Moji threw the ball directly with his hand and threw it over. Lin Rui stretched out his foot to stop the ball steadily, and crossed Silvio on the right. At the same time, he himself ran madly towards the front court. At the same time, Atensa and Nogra, who saw the opportunity, also began to rush forward from both sides. For a time, Atletico Madrid fired 4 arrows in unison and went straight to the goal of Real Madrid B team. The Real Madrid B team players who reacted also returned to the defense in panic at this time. However, since most of the Real Madrid B team players are involved in the attack in the front at this time, only 3 or 4 players can return to the defense in time. In this way, it is impossible to stop Atletico's tide of attacks. Silvio dribbled the ball quickly through the midfield, and his speed was so fast that Casemiro who followed him would not have time to foul him. And Lin Rui in the middle also exerted his full strength, and ran wildly with 2 long legs. His speed is now 85, which is already considered fast. With all his might, he rushed to the front of Real Madrid's penalty area in just a few seconds. At this time, Silvio on the wing had also run to the best passing position and directly crossed with his feet. The football was close to the ground, quickly rolling towards Lin Rui's position at the front of the penalty area. In the face of the incoming ball, Lin Rui braked sharply, then stretched out his left foot to stop the ball, adjusted the angle, and raised his right foot to shoot. It was at this time that he felt a breaking wind behind him. Lin Rui instinctively closed his feet and arched his back. Then he felt a body slam into his back. The impact was quite violent, and with Lin Rui's physical fitness, he was also knocked forward 2 steps before stabilizing his figure. At the same time, he heard a muffled grunt of pain behind him, as well as the sound of his body falling to the ground. Lin Rui looked back and saw that Dras, who had followed him all the time, was lying to the ground with a painful face at this time, covering his chest and rolling back and forth on the ground. Seeing this scene, Lin Rui couldn't help but scold. My ability to handle the ball in front of the goal is still a little weaker. If you were a little more decisive, you might already be celebrating the goal at this time. Now, because he stopped the ball just now, he was fooled behind by the other party. It's just that this big guy is also too good at acting, right? He didn't have much to do with the person he was hit, but he fell to the ground first. Lin Rui couldn't help but feel a little disdainful. At this time, the referee also blew the whistle and ran over. After seeing the painful expression of Dras who fell to the ground, he hesitated, but thought that this guy used to acting, and this time it was estimated that the same was true. So without hesitation, he took out a yellow card and showed it to Dras, and then took out a red card. 2 yellows turned 1 red, and Dras was sent off directly. Dras, who fell to the ground, saw that he was sent off with a red card, and he was already hit in pain, and he suddenly did not catch his breath, rolled his eyes, and fainted all of a sudden. Seeing this scene, the referee realized that this guy was really injured. This made him panic all of a sudden, and quickly beckoned the team doctor to enter the field. Soon, the team doctor of Real Madrid's B team ran up and, after a toss, finally woke up Dras. When he woke up, Das looked very depressed. Just now, he chased behind Lin Rui, seeing that the other party was about to shoot, and in a hurry, he directly collided with it. It's just that this collision suddenly made him feel like he had hit a wall. His entire body seemed to have been knocked apart, and he fell to the ground unable to move. "How is my body?" Dras asked, looking at the team doctor who was examining him. "It's hard to say yet, but according to my preliminary examination, you should have 2 broken ribs. You have to pay attention to your emotions and movements, be careful of broken bones, and stab the internal organs, then it will be troublesome." The team doctor's voice was also tinged with surprise. Although he had been exposed to injuries worse than this before, he had never seen this before, and just bumped together and broke his ribs. How much strength it takes to knock a strong athlete into the ribs. Soon he came on the field alone and carefully carried Dras off the field. Torres on the sidelines was already on the verge of being. He looked at the miserable appearance of Dras on the field, and then thought that the other party was sent off with a red card, so that there was 1 less person on his side to fight. With 3 goals behind, there is little hope of a turnaround, and all this was caused by the death of that Chinese man. Indignant, he rushed to the side of the 4th official and roared, "Are you all blind? Didn't you see that my player was injured? The person who should be sent off is the Chinese, not my player. This is the black whistle. I want to complain about you." Hearing Torres' words, the 4th official's face suddenly became cold. He glanced at Torres coldly, and then used the walkie-talkie to inform the referee of the situation on this side. The referee, who soon heard the report, ran over, still holding a red card in his hand. He ran in front of Torres and directly raised the red card in his hand. Then he reached out and pointed to the stands and said, "Now, you have been sent off. Please get out of here." Episode 39. Seeing the red card in front of him, Torres couldn't believe his eyes. After being stunned for a moment, a wave of anger rushed to his brain. He was about to go up to find trouble with the referee. However, he was pulled by Moya, who was quick-eyed. The referee was not deterred by Torres' actions, but ordered the security guards of the stadium to escort Torres out of the stadium. Although Torres was angry, he had no choice but to leave the stadium in the end. Haha. Real Madrid B team lost his wife and broke the army this time. Not only the player was sent off, but the manager was also invited out. Now they have no hope of turning over. Lu Jian gloated and said, "Indeed, time is running out of the game. Real Madrid B is 3 goals behind and now sent off again, leaving them hopeless. Thank goodness that no more goals are conceded in the remaining game time." Zhang Lu was also very relaxed and ridiculed the Real Madrid B team. "I see a lot of home fans starting to leave, don't they watch?" Shu Fan, made up for the last knife, immediately made the 2 male hosts laugh. At this time in Lin's house, Li Mei watched TV and asked Lin Igua with some worry, "Lao Lin, you said that Xiao Rui won't break people, right? Will he have to pay for people's medical expenses at that time?" "It's okay, even if we have to pay, we can afford it, as long as our son is okay." Lin Igua had a rare atmosphere. "Yes. It's good that the son is okay, and you definitely can't let the gringos bully. Besides, it was the guy who took the initiative to bump into it just now. The main responsibility is him, and it has nothing to do with our family." Cherue. Li Mei also strengthened her confidence. Then she got excited again and praised Lin Rui. "I'll just say my son is a kicker, right? Is it now true? Today he scored 3 goals. Lin Igua could only smile bitterly and nod. Today, Lin Rui's performance really exceeded his expectations. Although he usually doesn't pay much attention to football, he can still judge whether his performance is good or bad. Now he can be sure that his son looks like he's going on the path of football. He didn't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but for now, at least that's a good thing. Every parent wants their children to have a good future. In the past, he felt that his son could not walk the road of football, but now the other party has proved himself through his own efforts that he can eat this bowl of rice, and he has no resistance. Now he is only thinking about how to help his son develop better on this. At this time, on the court, the chaos just now gradually subsided. The home fans in the stands have gone for most of the time. There is nothing to see for the rest of the game. So at this time, the number of home and away fans in the stands is not much different. Without the suppression of numbers, the cheers of the visiting fans can finally echo over the entire stadium. Due to a foul on Dras, the referee gave Atletico B a free kick from the edge of the box. This ball is only about 20 meters away from the goal, which can be said to be very threatening. This time, without waiting for Lin Rui to speak, his teammate gave him the opportunity to take a free kick. Lin Rui was also not polite, directly stepped forward, placed the football at the penalty point designated by the referee, and then slowly retreated. Seeing Lin Rui standing behind the football again, the players of the Real Madrid B team immediately became nervous. They had just seen Lin Rui's free kick technique. Real Madrid B goalkeeper Iras nervously directed his teammates to put the wall on the wall. He asked a total of 7 people to line up in front of the door this time, which shows that he has no bottom in his heart. After finally arranging the walls, the referee directly blew the whistle that could be taken free throws. Hearing the whistle, Lin Rui began to run. He rushed to the front of the football in a few strides, his left foot on the ground and his right foot raised high. Then swing it down sharply. Boom! A bang sounded, and the football flew out like a shooting star. As soon as the wall of Real Madrid B team jumped, they felt a strong wind pass under their feet. By the time they came to their senses, the ball had passed through the wall and flew into the bottom right corner of the goal. Ellis fell to his side and tried to block the ball, but it was too late. The football didn't give him any time to react, and directly crashed into the net behind him. The ball went in. Nice free kick. Happy seniors. Lin Rui, this is crazy. Lu Jian's excited voice sounded. Chop to the ground. This foot is so hard. This kind of sticking to the earth, can play such a fast speed, is quite not easy. Lin Rui can do it, which shows that the strength under his feet has reached a terrifying level. It is estimated that it can really be compared to Carlos. Zhang Lu was also full of admiration. 4-0. Real Madrid B team was beaten miserably today. It is estimated that no one expected this result before the game. Shu Fan shouted as he slapped his hands. On the pitch, seeing his free kick scored was not too exciting. Because of playing to this extent, the goal has lost that feeling that excites him. He has become numb. This may be the so-called goal like a numb. Lin Rui just waved his fist, and it was considered that he had finished the celebration. Still, his teammates rushed up and surrounded him excitedly. A group of Atletico B players celebrated in front of Real Madrid B. The players of the surrounding Real Madrid B team were empty eyes and looked frustrated. A stark contrast. The Real Madrid fans in the surrounding stands had almost walked away at this time, and the few remaining fans were also like mourning, with a frustrated face. The entire stand was now fully controlled by the Atletico B fans. They cheered, and cheered for their team. Clausia's fan phalanx has completely become the center of the entire Atletico B team fans. They held up banners with Lin Rui's name written on them, driving the surrounding fans to keep shouting Lin Rui's name. Although the Spaniards' pronunciation is very strange, it does not affect their appreciation and love for the Chinese player on the field. They scored 4 of their goals in the same city derby, on the pitch of their rivals. Such a dazzling performance, it is difficult not to make fans love. And Lin Rui did all this in only 2 games. At this time, Atletico Madrid scouts Camilo in the stands had put away his notebook and joined the cheers of the fans. In his heart, Lin Rui's ability no longer needed to be seen. A game of Big Four is enough to say anything. He has decided that after the game, he will immediately advise Simeone to recruit Lin Rui into the first team. He is now worried that if his side is late, Lin Rui will be preemptively poached by other teams. In that case, it would be the most regrettable thing in his life. Episode 40. At this point, the game on the pitch has resumed. At this time, there are still more than 10 minutes before the end of the game. The 4-goal disparity also turned the rest of the game into garbage time. Not long after the game resumed, Marcelo began to make substitutions. He replaced goal-scoring hero Lin Rui with Niga and Silvio with Nokami. When Lin Rui walked off the court, he was warmly applauded and cheered by the fans. Lin Rui also waved frequently to the fans, like a superstar loved by the fans. The Chinese fans who saw this scene in the live broadcast room also felt a huge sense of pride. Lin Rui is awesome. Look at those foreign fans, they obviously love Lin Rui to the extreme. I really have never seen a Chinese player who can do this. Yes, this kind of scene could only be imagined in dreams before, but I didn't expect that it has become a reality now. Really excited. Today in the away game, the number of fans is still a little less. When Lin Rui can stand on the stage of La Liga and accept the cheers of tens of thousands of fans, then it will be really awesome. A little greedy, buddy. Now it's already good. As for going to La Liga, how can it be so easy? Let's keep our minds calm. Alas. Also, the top league is not something that anyone can go to if they want to, and even if a La Liga team wants Lin Rui, it is estimated that it will have to be next season. This season, Lin Rui is still at ease to play well in the second division, and he will definitely attract the attention of the La Liga team at that time. I really hope to see our Chinese players in the first division. We have waited too long for this day. Looking at the rows of messages floating on the screen, several hosts also looked at each other and smiled. Lu Jian said with some emotion, "It seems that the fans' expectations for Lin Rui are really high. It's normal, after all, China hasn't had a player in Europe's top league for many years. Fans have been looking forward to it for a long time." Zhang Lu's voice also had a hint of sadness. He is a former international footballer who has experienced the best of Chinese football. At that time, there were many Chinese players playing in Europe's top leagues. It is these Chinese players who have played overseas that bring fans a lot of fun and talking points. And with the decline of the level of Chinese football, that group of players is aging, and the new generation has no players who can gain a foothold in Europe's top leagues. This also made the fans of China fall into a deep helplessness. Now Lin Rui's appearance has finally given the fans of Huaguo a glimmer of hope. It's just that now Zhang Lu doesn't know what this glimmer of hope will eventually turn into. Is it another disappointment or the beginning of a new hope? His heart was inevitably a little troubled. I think Lin Rui will definitely be able to enter the top league, and I have confidence in him. At this time, Xu Fan, who knew the least about the ball among the three, was the most confident. Hearing his words, Lu Jian and Zhang Lu could only laugh dumbly. They did not take Xu Fan's words seriously, but only as a fan's brainless support for idols. After all, when it comes to football, they are professional. And Xu Fan can only be regarded as a pseudo-fan. At this time, on the pitch, Atletico Madrid B team, which completed the substitution, no longer tried to attack. They just keep passing the ball at the back, consuming the little game time they have left. Real Madrid's B team, on the other hand, has no desire to attack when they play one less man and the manager is sent off. So in the last 10 minutes, neither side scored again. When the game time reached 90 minutes, the referee did not give any stoppage time and directly blew the whistle for the end of the game. At the moment of the whistle, all Atletico fans, players on the bench and staff rushed to the pitch excitedly to celebrate the victory with the Atletico B players. Marcelo also rushed onto the pitch with a smile after a symbolic handshake with Moya, who took over the coaching duties in place of Torres. He led his players to bow to the visiting fans in the stands. The home fans in the stands were gone before the game was over. Only the visiting fans were left to celebrate in the stands. In this game, Lin Rui naturally deserved to be the best of the whole game, and won a champagne as a reward. In just over a week, Lin Rui won the best of the match twice, which is rare in the history of the West B. Camilo in the stands immediately found a quiet corner after celebrating the victory with the surrounding Atletico fans, pulled out his mobile phone and dialed a number. When the mobile phone was connected, he said directly into the microphone, "Mr. Simeone, I suggest that Lin Rui, a Chinese player from the B team, be recruited to the first team immediately. If it's late, we could lose a talented player with great potential." Since it was a city derby, after the game, the players of Atletico B were disbanded on the spot and went back to their respective homes. Marcelo, who was in a good mood, generously gave the players a day off so that tomorrow the whole team could have a relaxing weekend. Lin Rui, who returned to the dormitory of the training base, first called his parents. On the phone, Lime praised Lin Rui excitedly. This made Lin Rui, who was already in a good mood, even more happy. After calling the phone at home for more than half an hour, Lin Rui reluctantly hung up the phone. The next morning, when Lin Rui got up early for training, the Madrid derby match in La B last night had already begun to be reported in major newspapers and the internet. Although the Serie 2 has not received much attention, the Madrid derby as the focus of the battle has gained a certain amount of space. And in these news, Lin Rui is the most dazzling protagonist. All reports will mention that a little-known Chinese player, who won 4 yuan alone, staged a senior and was the most outstanding player in the whole game. And the most dramatic thing is that this Chinese player named Lin Rui is also an abandonment of Real Madrid's B team. It is said that Lin Rui first trained in Real Madrid B team, and his goal was also to join Real Madrid B team. However, by mistake, Lin Rui was finally included in the Atletico Madrid B team. Now on the contrary, Lin Rui has become the biggest contributor of hundreds of Real Madrid B teams. This has to be said to be very dramatic. All the media, at the end of the report, will add, "I wonder if the current Real Madrid B manager Mr. Torres regrets it." Torres, the other protagonist of the news, was being questioned in an office at the Real Madrid club.